Oh my goodness. Hi guys! Hello Jellybean, hi Bright Star, hi Allie, hi Wickedly. Yes, starting, well, just sketching I think today. I was gonna say starting a new drawing, but depends on how it goes. I think I kind of just want to do some very relaxed sketching. I think I'm gonna do some, maybe like little demon-themed ladies. Get into that spooky mood because tomorrow is basically fall. I'm so excited. Let's try flipping the canvas. Maybe that will make it easier. Always put too much effort into the first thing that I draw and then not enough effort into the other thing, which is usually eyes. How was everybody's Wednesday? I keep getting confused and thinking today is like Thursday for some reason. It is not Thursday. I mean, it might be Thursday for you depending on where you are, but for me it is in fact Wednesday. Wednesday. I mean, I don't know if drawing fast is a good thing though, so I feel like when you're in the sketching phase, maybe it makes more sense to just kind of throw down some loose lines, although that's definitely not the way I do it. They're not even like loose lines. I still try too hard to refine them too early on in the process. But oh well. Yes, it's Wednesday and I'm going home. Thank goodness. Hi, by the way, Goat. I'm betting Jellybean will be very happy to see you. And I'm betting you're also going to be very happy to just go home. Hi guys! Yeah, but I won't be there till early in the morning. Oh, well that's, I mean, that doesn't sound fun, but at least you have it to look forward to. Are you getting home like in the wee hours of the morning? Black bean chili in the crock pot. Ooh! See, there's another thing that I wish I liked was chili. Because that sounds good. Chili always seems like one of those really good, comforting, like, home meals. But I've never enjoyed it, and it's one of those things, like those types of foods that I just wish that I actually, you know, my palate grew as I did. I still have the taste buds of a 6-year-old, so... Is it cool enough? You guys were getting rain, weren't you, Jellybean? I was gonna say, is it chilly weather already for you guys? Thank you, Lilypad. The eyebrows are not, I don't think they're quite on fleek yet. Is it bad that I kind of miss the era of saying that? Not that I miss, like, saying that in particular, but man, what an era. On fleek. What a weird thing to say. Did past me ever think that that was something that I would hear out of people's mouth? No. But it was definitely something that people said. Trying not to be too overly blah. I don't even know what I'm saying. I got tricked by the weather because it was calling for rain. I hate that. It was a long era. I mean, you're not wrong. Hi, pretty lips. The brush is the flat brush, which you can find under painting, and it's usually somewhere in the 50s is the opacity. I change it up a lot though. I have no rhyme or reason, I just do. So there's not a set number, but somewhere in the 50s usually. Oops. I know it hasn't been long since I've like just randomly sketched something, but for some reason right now I'm having one of those days where it feels like I haven't drawn all week. Even though I know that's a lie. Boop, 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 boop. Always have to make the eyes super defined. Yeah, it's one of the brushes that comes with Procreate. It's definitely my favorite for pretty much everything at this point. So I use it for sketching, coloring, literally everything. At least I've been in the phase of using it for just about everything. Oops. Alright, there's some sort of a nose. I guess, I don't know. I'm like, just, normally I do a super loose sketch in this, in like a red or a blue, and then go on to another layer, but this one I'm definitely, I don't know. My brain stopped working. Ignore that. Yes, this is Procreate. And thank you, Goat, for answering. Is this going to end up being a full painting on your shop? I have no idea, actually. To be honest, unless I have, like, a set plan for drawing, for, like, a drawing idea, I really never know if it's gonna be a full drawing or if it's just gonna be an abandoned sketch. That is a good question. We'll see where it goes, you know? But I'm excited for Comic-Con this weekend, Long Beach Comic-Con, but I'm also very excited for afterwards because whatever I don't sell, I can't wait to list in my Etsy and then also order some more prints. I also, Sticker Mule is having another sale. They're doing a sale on their keychains, so I think I'm gonna order some keychains, and I've been trying to set up my Patreon, because I really want to be able to, Patreon would make it easier for me to make bigger benefits for like subscribers and stuff, so I'm probably going to start encouraging people to not really subscribe to me on here. I will still be sending, I think probably one last little like thank you gift to subscribers on here, but I just don't think, it's just not very viable expense wise with how expensive shipping is and stuff. And I can offer more tiers, so you don't even have to spend that much on Patreon. So I just think Patreon is a lot more useful to artists than TikTok when it comes to support from people. I still like TikTok, obviously. I'm not going to stop being on here or anything. But for, like, sending gifts and artwork and, like, maybe doing monthly packages and stuff. You know what I mean. Anyway, hi Aesthetic Milky! Have you ever thought about drawing a Genshin Impact character? I have been asked that quite a lot, actually. I have never played it. However, I would certainly be interested in trying to draw a character because I've seen lots of art of the characters and they're gorgeous. I feel like it's definitely right up my alley. So perhaps... Okay. This is probably just going to be like a bust sketch. I don't really expect I'll be trying to figure out a pose, but we'll see. Also have not thought about hair at all, so that's fun. Trying to shy away from doing short hair all the time. Every time you talk about making money, I grow more sure I don't want to do art for a living. Hi, Sarah. I feel like it's been so long. How are you? I'm good, by the way. Thank you for asking. And thank you, Who's Rosa? Totally understand that feeling, by the way. I feel like, as much as people say, do what you love for a living and you'll never work a day in your life, it's not always true in this day and age, unfortunately. I think they're fun. But if you're passionate enough about it and you feel like you wouldn't mind putting that stress on yourself, it's totally worth it. However, art is not my main source of income, not even close. So at the moment, I'm free to not stress that much about it. It still definitely helps with my bills, don't get me wrong. But it's nice that I'm not totally reliant on it. At least not yet, but that is the goal. Which is also a little scary, but life is scary, so not much you can do about that. Oh, that's a really good idea to do a hijab. Actually, that would be kind of cool. I was thinking, but I want to do, that gave me an idea, but I think I have an idea fleshed out now for this one. But I think maybe I'll sketch that one next. I was hoping to do maybe a few different characters on this canvas. Also, the eyes look a little funky, but we're not going to talk about that right now. She does, though, huh? Bangs are a cute idea. I wonder if I can fit it in without making it look weird. Probably. I could probably zoom in there and just carve that out. Now I really want to draw a girl with a hijab, though. I think I will next. It's about the best I can do for that, I think. Have to leave a spot out for goat. Let's see. That's okay, Sarah. You don't have to apologize for that before Goat has a chance. I totally understand. Life is absolutely ridiculous, and I do not expect you to be here for every live. I just appreciate when you guys do hop on. But everybody's got their own life. You got your own struggles. You're working on things. I don't expect you to be here 24/7. Speaking of being here 24/7, I'm not 100% sure. I know I said this on the Discord, but for anybody who wasn't on the Discord, not 100% sure I'll be live tomorrow, which is why I'm doing today's live and at a different time. But I don't know, I think I might have time as long as I get enough done tonight. Okay, what am I doing hair-wise? I kind of want to give her some bangs, honestly. Piercings. I did piercings on... Which character did I do piercings on? And they actually kind of turned out cute, so maybe... I usually go for a nose piercing, but I also kind of maybe want to do an eyebrow piercing. And I don't know, depending... She's kind of cute. She's got some wonkiness going on that I feel like I would love to fix. But if I can fix that, maybe she will turn into like a full drawing. I'm so wishy-washy. I've been loving bangs too, especially when doing characters like this, so I think I will be terrible and give bangs. I didn't want to because I feel like I've done quite a few bangs lately, but forgive me, I just wanted to do some guilty pleasure art. Draw things that are easy and that I want to draw. I kind of want to draw I don't know. Bus and Justin's on? Bridge? What's up, guys? Slick back. Ooh, I haven't done a ponytail in a long while. I pretty much never do ponytails. I think I do want to do long hair because I tend to do a lot of short hair looks. Maybe I'll do a half up, half down. though I do that a lot also. But if I do long hair, that means I actually have to give her like a body, or at least shoulders. So I also am now thinking, okay, yeah, this is, I think I've kind of settled into the idea that this is probably gonna become a full drawing. But it's fine. It's fine. I think I want to give her those cute, I don't know what you call that hairstyle, but you see it a lot in a lot of anime and older Japanese culture. I think it was a pretty big hairstyle where they have the side swoopies like that, if that makes any sense. I don't know what you call that. Also, I know her nose is too far over. At least enough that it's bugging me. Her face bugs me in general, but I'll fix it eventually. I'm using the flat brush right now, which comes with Procreate. It's under the painting category. That's the word I was looking for. Kind of want to give her... I want it to look like she's holding a cup. But not just holding a cup. I want her to have the cute, like... You know, that Ariana Grande vibe where she's like barely got her fingers out because it's cold and she's wearing a very oversized sweatshirt. Made me think Ariana Grande because I just saw, I don't know the girl's username, but she makes funny like throwback videos of certain eras, and she just did like that one time from back in like, what was it, 2016, when everybody was obsessed with Ariana Grande. So maybe a turtleneck then? I don't know, I just want to pretend it's fall, guys. That's, I think, what I'm doing. I wasn't planning on giving her, like, a full body or anything, but maybe just do that. What gives you inspiration to draw? It depends. I feel like it's different every day. Right now, it's definitely spooky vibes, spooky fall vibes that make me want to draw. But I think it changes every day, mostly just like cartoons. I really love cartoons, anime, Disney, of course. I'm gonna change her eyes around, but I don't want to work too much on that right now. I hate drawing cups. Don't ask me why, I just don't really like drawing them. They're not fun at all to me. Also, literally just wanted to come and relax and sketch on this live, so I don't know why I decided also that I needed to draw hands. Not even full hands, just fingers, but still. It's a cylinder? Thank you so much for the roses. You should draw Eddie Munson as a girl. I thought about that, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes I like gender bent versions of characters, but I feel like that would just be an admittance that I will never allow myself to grow as an artist and try to draw a guy character, because he's like the perfect guy to try to draw. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some really good fan art of him, like as a lady, but I feel like I should try to draw him as him. But I also feel like I probably will never do that. You know what I mean? Probably never get around to it. Fluffy hair. See, now I'm not even sure. I know I want to do long, and I feel like since I gave her these fluffy bits, I have to kind of give her fluffy long hair. I think I do still like the idea of half up, half down. She kind of gives me, like, oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, just making sure I didn't hurt my desk. Hi, love. Also, thank you to Allura. I enjoy doing lips, and sometimes they look a little wonky, but, you know, I appreciate it. So, vibe is there, some fingers. Just not really holding the cup, it's just kind of like there. But maybe I'll figure it out. Pinky. Hi again, the fellow Ginger Libra is back. Hello! How do you angle the camera? My boyfriend got me off of Amazon a tripod. It's a gooseneck tripod. And I have it over my desk. Like it's a tripod with just a little arm that you can adjust, and so it's just at the edge of my desk and kind of going over it. Oh, you got a boyfriend? Yeah. His name's Brotato. He's not home right now, though. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to tell strangers on the internet that I'm alone. Technically, I'm not alone, no. I'm never alone. Never mind. I was gonna make jokes, but then I couldn't think of a joke. And then I embarrassed myself. I'm just gonna stop talking now. Maybe it's better that I stay quiet during the lives. Sometimes I just embarrass myself. No. If something happens, we got you. Well, if something happens, it'll happen live, so at least everybody will know what happened. Or at least there will be evidence. Are you using layers? Yes, but I'm only on one layer right now. So all of this sketch is so far just on one layer, but I am sure there will be more. No, I think I just want not so much curly, just super fluffy, shaggy hair. Is that the right term for the type of hair that I'm looking for? I don't know. Just trying to go for a fun shape. It's not as long as I thought I wanted to make it. Oh my goodness, I hate her face. I mean, I don't want to mess with it too much right now. Oops. You know, I almost started, I was gonna do a traditional drawing, but I was like, you know, I don't think I have the mental capacity to sketch something out and then keep fixing things if I don't get it right, and then possibly have to start over because it's traditional. I've been doing so much digital lately, and I rely so much on like warping things. And is this a new series? Potentially. Essentially, it's just what I do around fall and spooky season. I like to do a lot of demon ladies. So you could call it a series. I have no commitment whatsoever, so I don't really call things a series. I think the only thing I really called a series recently was the Valentine's Girls. That was like the most commitment I put into anything other than Mermaid in a long time. Other than my relationship, obviously, but that's different. Also, I'm excited. I ordered stickers of her, which should be here tomorrow, that I'll be taking to the convention with me. Okay, I'm liking her a lot more now. And I'm using the flat brush right now. It's under painting. It's one of the brushes that comes with Procreate. Oops. Oh well, I'm leaving that. Okay. Hello, Hypnotic Beauty. How are you? Happy Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. I was saying this earlier. It really feels like Thursday. But I think that's because today technically is my Thursday. I work tomorrow, but then Justin and I both have Friday off to drive down to Long Beach. Oh my gosh, and you know what comes out at the end of September? Hocus Pocus 2! For a second I got extra excited because I was thinking that it was already the end of September and that comes out soon, but it does not. You know what, Justin? Dang, that's crazy. Whatever. Don't you have work to do? Her jaw's got a little funniness going on right now, but that's okay. Who else doesn't have a little funkiness going on with their jaw? Welcome back! Bop him, never mind, he's a mod. I do Jellybean, actually. Usually, so for a while, I usually liked to try and participate in Inktober. However, there's been more awareness around, like, controversy of the artist that started Inktober, so people weren't sure if they should do Inktober, me being one of those people. So I don't really have a name for the series, but usually every year in October I just do spooky drawings. And now, since I don't really do technically Inktober anymore, I just kind of draw spooky drawings. Like, they're not necessarily always just ink, but I do like doing a lot of, like, black and white ink drawings for October. Oh, I'm sorry, the internet's crappy. Did anyone else notice they got rid of screen name? They went back to normal users. Oh, like the usernames? I did not notice that, actually. What the heck? At least so far, that, from what I've seen. Interesting. Oops, come on. Oh my gosh, and pumpkin spice is out. Not that I'm a coffee drinker, but I do usually like to have that in my chai tea latte. Hi, Robin! Robin Buckley's wife. I love your username. Oops. I feel like I should probably go ahead and start another layer so I can really start defining things, maybe. Maybe first I'll just add a little more. I think I'll add a little bit of smoke for visual interest. And that will be fun, because that's one of the things I wanted to try to practice drawing. Not smoke, sorry, steam technically, but like smoky textures and shapes and stuff I really wanted to work on a little bit. So maybe that's what I will do. Also, maybe add a little bit more fluffiness to the hair. I'm using the flat brush right now. Also, I'm gonna move this so you can see a little bit better, maybe. I feel like you're super zoomed in. What do you do if you ever get artist block? I get artist block all the time. Usually I kind of try to force myself to suffer through it. The lives have helped a lot, to be honest, because I do sort of force myself to draw, which is usually a good thing, not necessarily always in a bad way. But when I'm really struggling, I like to look at my favorite art books. So like if you have Disney art books or anything, those are really helpful. You can look on Pinterest for ideas, which is another great way to get out of it. And something that may seem like self-centered, if you will, but something that helps a lot too if I'm struggling is I really like to go back and look at old art of my own. If you have like a portfolio or anything with old art, sometimes that helps too, because one, you can maybe find a drawing that you want to redraw, but also it's just a little inspiring to look back on some of your older drawings and go, wow, I've come a long way. And then that will usually give me ideas. Yes, I can, Aesthetic Milky. Hello, Aesthetic Milky. I hope that was useful. Okay, now I think I'm gonna go ahead and add in another layer, and start sketching in another color. So let's turn this down and let's sketch in... Actually, I think I could... No, let's sketch in blue. Maybe a darker blue. I still feel like I want one more layer to just really refine things. And if I'm feeling like she's ready, I can always just duplicate the layer and make it the color that I want. I don't know. Usually I have another layer, and I'm feeling weird that I don't, so I feel like I have to have another layer. But we'll see. Hi, Cheyenne! Absolutely, Alicia. I'm glad to hear that you're an aspiring artist as well. Being an artist is a lot of fun. I have no idea what else to say other than hi. Sorry. I was thinking about going on some long tangent about art, but I decided against it. Oops. Oh, it's 6. Bus and Justin should be on his way home. Yay. I think I might give her like a nice smoky eye. Never finished that other demon that I was working on with the candles. I would like to finish her, but she's in one of those ugly stages with the coloring that I just want to fix. Any tips? I mean, that's kind of a broad question. Usually it's helpful if you ask like if there are any tips for like a specific part of art. But other than, I feel like my biggest tip would just be practice, which is a lame tip to get, but I think if you draw a little bit every day, even if it's nothing fancy, that's like the best advice you can give yourself as a growing artist, because it gives you the chance to practice every single day. Thank you so much for the roses. Are we talking about what time it is? It's 6:05 p.m. for me. So I'm really curious. I'm just bringing up because I've noticed that today's live, oh dang it, has had a lot more of you guys in it than the last few lives, which have been pretty small. It's usually just the people I think that are akin to my akin. I don't know how to say that phrase. Are aware of my live schedule and kind of know when I go live, because I made a very, very short video before I went live, just telling you guys that I am gonna go live, because yesterday when I was drawing and when I was on live, Justin was in here with me, and it was interesting because he was on the live for a little bit and then he hopped off. He was playing his game, and then he went to go get back on the live so that he could see what you guys were saying and hang out and stuff, and he couldn't find my live anywhere. Like, he went to my page and tried to click on my profile picture and nothing was coming up. It was like I wasn't even live. And that was like for 5 minutes. Jellybean had to send him a link to the live. It was the weirdest thing. So I think that's kind of, like, I knew that TikTok was really suppressing things and being terrible at, you know, telling followers and people what's going on. But it was really interesting to see that in person and like firsthand see what TikTok is doing. So I'm wondering if posting that video was helpful for anybody who has been struggling with seeing when I'm live. Oops. I didn't get a notification for the live again today. See, it seems like nobody gets notifications anymore. Happened to me, told me a live was over, but it wasn't. I restarted the app and it was there. See, that's so weird. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't necessarily think TikTok is doing it on purpose, because obviously they probably really want their creators to be going live, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, kind of on purpose. That just seems like something that TikTok would do. I don't know, it's just an interesting thought. Don't get notifications on my phone, just in the app. I never really knew if you guys got notifications on your phone. The brush that I'm using right now is the flat brush, and I just lowered the opacity a little bit. You can find the flat brush under the painting category. It just comes with the Procreate app, but I added it to my own little favorites bar. Also, how did you develop your own style? I have a few videos on style. it's kind of an interesting topic because style is something that definitely comes over time. I feel like I think it's just that's the main thing for me, is that I've taken a lot of time to develop the style that I think I like, and what it really is to me is just a combination of other artists' styles that I've really like and look up to, and you kind of just mesh them all together. And I think a lot of artists will agree that that's just kind of what art style is. You don't really have to try to force it or worry about it. It's just something that will happen, again, over time. Kind of want to get rid of that, I think. But I do have some videos on it farther down on my page, and maybe even in a category, I think, under my name. Thank you, Summer Owens. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day too. I do think it's sweet when people pop on and say things like that. Sometimes people need to hear that. I also love when people will pop on a live, or, you know, it's happened on my lives, or I'll just see it in a comment on somebody else's video, and people will just comment something like, for anybody reading this, you're okay. Everything will work out. You'll be fine. I don't know. I think those are really nice, random, uplifting comments that sometimes feel like they're meant for you, if that makes sense. I know that sounds a little cheesy and unrealistic, but I don't know. They're just one of those things on the internet that I'll never get tired of seeing. A little bit of positivity in this otherwise very negative world. I am using an iPad Pro. Sorry, my brain stopped working for a second. It's an 11-inch, I believe, but it's Procreate on an iPad Pro. Fluffy hair. In Procreate, can I like sketch over a photo? Yes, I've actually done that multiple times before. So you can just insert a photo onto a layer, and then you can either sketch directly on the photo or on a layer on top of it, which is what I would recommend. So basically, you'll add a layer, and then you can go over to the little tool menu, the little wrench, and then add. And then you can insert a file, a photo, you can take a photo, you can add text. There are a bunch of options. And then you can just turn the opacity down on that layer, add a layer on top, and then do some sketching, which I have done before on drawings, on actual pictures. It's very handy. Very handy indeed. You know, I feel like this may or may not be the final layer. So I might end up being pretty precise with this layer, and I'm kind of okay with the blue. I might darken it a little bit, but I don't mind making her like blue themed, because I don't do a lot of blue demons. So I might fix her nose just a little bit. Just draw sort of the default nose that I usually draw. Nothing too fancy. Something like that. Oh, no! Oh my goodness, I've never done that before. Weird. Anyway. Thank you for the roses, Emily. I keep thinking it's Thursday or Friday. I don't remember what I was about to say, but I was about to say something that was pertaining to the day of the week and thinking that it was Friday. It's honestly almost getting annoying. That's one thing that I don't like about this. Sketching like this. Those little bits that end up there. It definitely feels like a Friday. It does. Today felt like a Thursday, because I worked all day, but I worked from home in the morning, because I got new tires put on. So it was kind of a short day, like, in the office, and then doing the same thing tomorrow, so for some reason that just makes it feel more like a Friday. And then tomorrow is my Friday, since Justin and I are leaving on Friday. So I just keep getting all the days mixed up. and it's very annoying. How many people are living in Thursday right now? Like, it's actually Thursday morning. Well, I'm not. Draw names as people. Ooh, that's a fun idea. I've always liked doing things like that, like drawing colors as people or names. I think names would be fun, though. I don't think I've ever done that. That specific one. I think I remember a while back having people suggest names to do something like that, and I never got around to it, so I would really like to do that. Phew. Oops. Hello. Sorry, got quiet for a sec. Imagine me starting a series. That's what I say to myself all the time. Horoscopes, star sign people. I've definitely thought about that too. And I've done some, like, sort of series. Much focus. I don't know if you can even call it focus when I get quiet. I think my brain just shuts down a little bit because it's tired of multitasking. Which to me feels a lot like the opposite of focusing. I feel like maybe I'll upload this live to YouTube because it feels like I'll probably at least get her sketched out into like an almost finished drawing. Not a finished drawing, but like, you know, a sketch. A finished sketch. Which I was not expecting to do. I fully was expecting not to like anything that I drew on this live because I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to draw. Ice cream or gelato? I have to say, I'm not really a fan of frozen treats all that much. I mean, I definitely, don't get me wrong, I like ice cream and I like gelato. I just don't, I'm not the type of person that can like sit down and eat a whole pint of ice cream. I feel like I have to say ice cream just because that's what I've had the most of. And I think I'm not terribly used to the texture of gelato. So I think ice cream. Thank you, Jenna. I zone out at times and I don't want people to think I'm staring at them. Oh my gosh, me. It's dangerous because I like to zone out just in general all the time. And I'm always scared that I'm going to offend someone or look at the wrong person. I don't know. Or just embarrass myself terribly. Thank you, Melissa. Hi, Abby. I do actually, so I don't have a coloring book or anything, but I do have a coloring page bundle on my Etsy. It's 5 coloring pages of some of the mermaids that I did during May. I am trying to work on a digital, they are digital, by the way, I should mention that. So once you buy it, you get sent a PDF of them, so you can print them onto whatever paper you want. But anyway, it's a coloring page bundle, and I'm working on doing a digital coloring book as well, which would be the same thing, just digital downloads of my mermaids. I just have to figure out the best way to do it, because it's going to be like 30 pages. I think I just need to go and, or I'll just have to go and thicken these, or not thicken. Goodness gravy, I don't know. Clean up the lines, that's what I'm trying to say. Because I probably will keep this sketch layer, or make this sketch layer the final. Aesthetic Milky, I do not. At least I don't think I know your real name. Is your real name not Aesthetic Milky? I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? I don't know, there's some pretty unique names out there. Do you paint color on the same layer as your lines? I wish I was that confident as an artist to do that, but I am absolutely not. These are on separate layers altogether themselves, and these are just my sketch. I have no confidence when it comes to coloring over like directly on top of my sketch, unless I'm doing traditional, in which case that's just what I had to do as a traditional artist. But digital, if I have the option, I'm not gonna do that. Hannah, thank you. That made my day. Also made me a little embarrassed. I don't know how long ago that was, but thank you. It's nice to see you again, even though I haven't seen you. It's nice to... I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. It's funny when I do get comments like that, and even when I am in that situation where I come across an artist on, you know, maybe another app or something that I haven't really seen in years, and I see how much their style has, you know, developed and changed. I always think that's kind of interesting, kind of fun, a little bittersweet. I think I talked about him on yesterday's live, but that kind of happened with Dylan Bonner, I think, again, is his last name. But Instagram didn't show me his art for a very long time, and I started seeing his art again relatively recently, and it just made me so happy to not only see his art again, but just to see how successful he has become and how much he's grown as an artist. Like, it's just really cool to see that. Oops, that was my dad. Guess my dad wants to call. I will be hopping off once Justin gets here, which will probably be soon. That way I can hop on the call with my dad. I sketch with semi-transparent lines as well, and was wondering how you color without the patchy lines. Oh, I think I know what you mean. So, let's turn this up all the way. Ooh, okay, maybe not all the way. So are you talking about, like, that's not fully, that's, the opacity is lowered on that. So are you talking about, like, when you go to color with, like, let's just grab a pen, and it, like, changes? That's on the same layer. What the heck? I think I know what you mean. It's very hard. This is a terrible example. But, like, you can see under it, essentially. I don't do anything about that, to be honest. I don't really mind the sort of transparent lines. But he's your dad. Boogie, woogie, woogie. I only recently started sketching with this particular brush. And I've only recently started experimenting with sketching it with it, specifically with the opacity lower. And at first it really bothered, oh god. At first it did bother me noticing that. But to be honest, I just don't think I care enough to do anything about it. I do my best just to make sure that I color, like, exactly where I want. So I'll use either the lasso tool or I'll use the technical pen, and then just have the little thingy, you know, how it can help you make, like, a straighter line. I'll just try to do it, like, to exactly the shape that I want. But I still end up seeing some of the color underneath, and I just don't think it bothers me all that much. I'm sorry, I know that probably was, like, the most useless answer, but it's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. I feel like I'm very talkative today, but not in a, like, coherent way. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I feel like I'm kind of just blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give her a blue color palette. I think that's what I've decided. Your real name is Luna? No way! Oh my gosh. That's a gorgeous name. I don't think I've actually ever met any Lunas. Thank you, Lakey. I'm glad that you could get some sort of help from it, or just know. Thank you, H Gender. And tips for line art, the smoothie. My line art has always been, well, not always. I think within the last few years I've just gotten a little bit lazier with it. I don't really spend a lot of time on the line art because it is anxiety-inducing to me. I just do my best to go back over it. If you have the patience, I think the best thing you can do for your line art is to just, like, after everything is lined, you can turn off your sketch layer and then just go back in and spend some extra time cleaning it up to the best of your ability. But that's really the only tip I have. The other thing, I guess, that can be useful is to use, I don't know if you use Procreate, but it's nice to use the tools that are available. So if you're doing like a curved line, you can just hold and then it will help straighten the line out for you. Same thing with a straight line. I think that's really useful if you want your line art to look super clean and polished. However, obviously, if you're doing it with traditional art, I think you just have to go slower, unfortunately, since that's not really a tool that is available traditionally. But it can definitely help to just slow down in general. Personally, I've been growing a lot more fond of the super messy look for art, so I don't really have the best tips when it comes to super clean line art anymore. I used to love doing a really polished look for my lines and spending a lot of time on that layer, but I just don't anymore. Thank you so much for the rose, Presley. Sorry. Again, my brain is just exhausted with me trying to, like, form sentences and talk. What brush do I... That's okay, Aesthetic Milky. Thank you for joining for a little while. What brush do I use for color? I usually will fill the color in with Technical Pen, just because it makes a nice clean line with no breaks, and then I just drag the color in, and then when it comes to shading, I will go back to the same brush that I sketch with, which is the flat brush, and I just sketch, I color with that one too. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway. Okay. I feel like I kind of want to... Maybe? Oh, what was your question again, Graphic Styles? Hi, Shorty, how are you? I feel like it's been a minute. That's okay, Rampage. Enjoy your YouTube. Lilypad. Thank you. I'm trying to look for your question, but it might be too far up for me, so I would go ahead and ask it again, Graphic Styles. What was I doing? I used to really struggle with drawing big ol' oversized fabric, which I mean I still do to a degree, I think, but I've definitely gotten more comfortable with it. It's just the idea of, like, I'm so used to being just drawing like a nice crisp arm, so big shapes. I give up on talking. I'm too tired. That's okay, your fave Ginger. I hope you have a good day at school tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. I'm drawing my silly little OCs while you draw too. Why are they silly? Like, personality-wise? Or are you trying to be demeaning to your own art? I hope it's not that one. Whenever somebody calls anything little to me, it sounds like it's meant to be like an insult. I think this is something that I've talked about on my lives before, but, like, anybody else as an artist will probably understand where I'm coming from, but whenever you would get a compliment, like, whenever I would get a compliment growing up on my art, or even these days, like, from people who just aren't really into art, they'll say, oh my gosh, I love your little drawings, or I love your little characters. Like, there's something about putting little in front of it that really makes it sound, like, not very genuine. I don't know if it's just me, but I call everything my silly little things because it's so funny. Okay, see, that I can get behind, because that actually sounds fun, and you're doing it on purpose, and you're not doing it to be mean. But I feel like there are those people that say, oh, I love your little this or that, or your little hobby. For some reason, just sounds so unnecessarily mean. Or like you're trying to belittle something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I do that. Oh, that's okay. Good night, Lilypad. I hope you enjoy school. Thank you. I love my silly little OCs very much. Mine is Steve. Steve was existing and Steve has and Steve has issues. Fair enough. I feel like we all have a Steve or are a Steve. You know what I mean? We've all got our issues. It just be like that. Before I get too comfortable with drawing this shape, I might want to, boop, do that. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the model of the iPad. I got this one brand new in 2020. And I know it's an 11-inch. All I know really is that it's an iPad Pro. But I don't have like the exact model. I think it came out in 2020, either 2020 or 2019. I don't really keep up with iPads and to know like how many generations are out or even what generation I have, because that exhausts me. But I hope that that helps a little bit or answers your question maybe. I'll add color there if I want. Do you have any cheaper alternatives for drawing tablets? Hi, Evelyn. Personally, I have not used anything other than an iPad and Procreate to draw, so I can't really give very good advice on using other tablets. I'm sure some other artists maybe in the comments can, if you guys know of anything, but because I haven't used anything else, I really don't know what else there is available, at least tablet-wise. I think I'll do that in color too. I know that there are a lot of other good, more affordable tablets, because obviously Procreate itself is affordable, but, you know, the iPad is not. Procreate is more one of those things that if you're in the market for it and you specifically want it, or if you already have the iPad. So I understand that it's not exactly the most obtainable thing. All my silly little OCs look like a different variation of Steve. Oh, IBS I've heard is wonderful, but that's not specifically a tablet, right? That's just like a program. Because I don't know of tablet alternatives. I have to go to bed soon because I have to wake up at 6 for school. That's okay. Thank you for joining. Also, I know her neck is... I definitely do draw long necks, which doesn't always bother me, but sometimes I feel like being a little bit more accurate. Waiting for when Justin's... It's 6:30. Where is he? I'm actually a little concerned. Nah, he's probably just getting gas. Thank you. Just gonna warp this one, I think. Maybe not. Yes, she is supposed to be like a little demon. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little anxiety. I might hop off so I can text Justin. Usually he's home around like 6:20, and it is now 6:33. So I am trying not to let myself worry. I'm sure it's fine. But I think I am gonna end the live here. I might hop back on just to finish sketching her. I was thinking about doing blue for her skin. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I may or may not be back on. Otherwise, I will probably be back on tomorrow. So thank you guys for hanging out. This was a really fun one. I think I'll try to upload this one to YouTube, and that is as far as we got. So bye guys. I'll see you when I see you.